Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Women's Volleyball Edition. And my guest for this week's show is none other than senior outside hitter on the women's volleyball team here at Menlo College, Moea Kekauoha. Moea, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Hi Brian, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Now, I want to talk about your 4 years here at Menlo College and the fact that you've pretty much done a little bit of everything on this Menlo College team. Was the transition to outside hitter again for your senior year a bit of a transition for you? How did that go personally, making the switch back to the outside hitter position?
Personally, I wouldn't say the transition was difficult. I was more so worried about coming off an injury and just worried about the entire getting back into the volleyball routine. But growing up as an outside hitter, the job is to put the ball away. So whether I'm on the right side or the outside, then pretty much has the same job. It does have its differences, but for the most part, the transition wasn't too hard.
It really is remarkable that you went from leading the team in kills your freshman year to then being like fourth or fifth the next 2 years, and now all of a sudden you've almost eclipsed your totals from the last 2 years, and we're just 3 weeks into the season.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been remarkable how you've been able to just get right back to it. And as you said, put people away, put the ball away. Not many people doing it better than you right now in the conference. Now, a few weeks ago, Nicole DiMartino told me that you might have a love for water parks. It was a pretty random thing. Of course, it was on Brownie Bites, but so that makes me want to ask, is that something that you actually would enjoy doing in the summertime, or are you just fixated on the ocean?
I think I'm more fixated on the ocean and just being in the water. Like when I was a child, I did go to the water park once or twice, just because it's different from being in the ocean, because I live on an island, obviously. But yeah, I think she said that because when we went to Hawaii last year for preseason, I was like the first one to run down into the ocean and just jump in.
Yeah.
And everyone was looking at me like super weird. Of course, Sierra was with me and like Emily, and they were all used to it. But Janae called me a fish and was very confused on how I was swimming with no arms. So
she called you a fish.
Yeah. I looked like I did. She said I looked like a fish when I swim.
How?
I don't know.
Is it because you don't swim with any arms?
I guess.
How do you not swim with arms? That confuses me.
Maybe she's like treading water. Maybe she meant treading water without arms.
Well, your arms are under water, right?
Yeah.
So you can't see them. Yeah.
She doesn't know the water too well.
Yeah, I guess she wasn't. She wouldn't really know in Humble, Texas, that the ocean. Humble's somewhat central, I think, or it's near Houston, right?
I think so.
I think it is. We talked about this last year, and I already forgot. But I think yes, it's somewhat central. So she's not super close to the ocean. So she would have to probably rely on the water park.
She's not a very good swimmer either.
She's not?
No.
Does she look like a bad fish?
She looks like a dead fish.
Oh, God. She looks like a dead fish.
I'm just joking. She's going to kill me now.
No, you're not joking. No, that's dead serious. That's dead serious. Mm-hmm. I didn't even try to do that. That just came out. That might be one of the best burns I've ever heard on this show.
Really?
Yes. Seriously, that's
I get
awesome.
Janae some burns. I apologize.
Don't apologize. That's great. She looks like a dead fish while swimming. I love that. Let's talk about the team here a little bit now, and we'll see if Janae gets roasted anymore when talking about it. Probably not, though, because the Oaks are off to a very good start in GSAC play. You beat Hope International. You beat Life Pacific to open up GSAC play. What enabled you ladies to get off to such a good start in conference play?
I think the preseason was really important just because we had a lot of growing pains, and right off the bat we talked about them and recognized what they were. So for example, we had like a lack of communication and how we were talking to each other, and just always minimizing unforced errors. And in those games we really focused on playing our game instead of steeping down to their levels. And basically starting off conference, it was exciting, and we're always up for the challenge. So we're not fully there yet, but we're working towards that. So that's exciting too, especially coming to this week.
Yeah, definitely, when you have a big match against Vanguard, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But the Life Pacific match was extremely thrilling because it went 5 sets, and the Oaks won the last 2, so you came from behind to win. what is it about 5-set matches that just don't seem to phase you ladies? We talked about it last year where like 33% of your sets matches went to 5, and it seems like it might happen again this year.
Wow, you know the number.
I do, because I talked about it on the air so much. You had like literally a third of your matches that went 3.
I mean, last season, I think the problem was we never started off strong. And I think this season, half of us are new. So we're still working on finding how we play together as a team and just team chemistry. We're not fully there again, but we're working towards that. So I think once we find that rhythm, we'll maybe minimize that.
I say maybe turn them into 4-setters instead of 5-setters.
We do like a challenge though.
You do,
and we thrive under that pressure.
You do, and that's I think why I asked that. I mean, it's incredible that it seems like every time when it goes 5, the Oaks have a very good chance of winning because you've been through it before, and like you said, you kind of embrace that challenge.
Right.
It's something that I don't think a lot of teams really want to do. They feel that pressure the 5th set, they cave in.
Or that exhaustion.
Exactly, or the exhaustion. And that's another thing, your roster's small, and yet despite the small roster, you're able to persevere through 5 sets.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. I don't know how
still early on in the season. Did we only have 2 5-setters so far?
Only 2, yes.
Okay.
So we're only at 20% so far. We're at 20% out of the 10. So, I mean, we're okay there, but, you know, if you go 5 again this week, then that percentage is just going up and up and up. I want to ask about Jaden Scott. She really broke out last week for the Oaks. She had a 5 solo block performance on Friday and then a 17-kill performance on Saturday. What have you seen from her game that's really taken off during her junior season?
I think Jaden always took on the role as being very loud and brought the energy to the team. So I think this year she boosted it up even more, and I think that just raised her confidence as a player, especially in that game against, it was Life, right, you were talking about?
Yeah.
We scouted that they only go 1 blocker up on the middle, so we really wanted to feed the middles as much balls as possible. So her keep getting the balls and her getting like great kills just really boosted her confidence, and like we believe in her, and just I think she really believed in herself, and she still does. Yeah,
the one-on-one with Jaden against another middle blocker, I think Jaden's probably going to win that match
a lot. That away.
And she did put it away a lot on Saturday. So now let's talk about this weekend. You have a matchup against San Diego Christian on Friday, but a big one on Saturday against Vanguard, one of the ranked teams. It's your first ranked opponent in the GSAC that you're facing. You beat them last year. What's it going to take to do it again?
I think we really focus on treating all of our opponents the same. So to us, San Diego Christian matters just as much as Vanguard does. And we've always put a focus on, as I mentioned earlier, not going down to the teams that we play and like finding who we are and what we play and what works best for us. So just really focusing on playing our game and being aggressively intelligent.
Well said. The Oaks on the road, San Diego Christian on Friday and Vanguard on Saturday. All right, Mo, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. Give me your best answers.
Okay.
Question number 1, which teammate would struggle the most when trying to do a handstand?
I'm probably going to have to go in with Jaden on this one, just because I know she can't do a cartwheel.
Are there many people on your team, you said cartwheels, but are there many people who can even do handstands at all?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think.
You think?
I think. I know Kristen loves yoga, so I'm guessing she's good at handstands. I feel like Lauren could. I feel like Janae could if her back wasn't broken.
Yeah, that's true. Apparently you're really good at them.
I do love doing them.
Yes.
I do them really randomly.
And I've still never seen you do one.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I can't do it during game times.
That's true. You can't do it during game times, and based on the confines of this room, you really can't do one here either. No. So, also you're wearing a microphone, so that probably wouldn't go over. Yeah, you'd pull over the iPad, it would all fall. The whole Unrooted setup would fall over. A fire would break out.
I'd like probably pull this down.
Yeah, somehow the entire room becomes a mess. Then, like, I don't know, is there a sprinkler? Yeah, there's a fire sprinkler in there, so then it's going to get set off somehow. It'll just be a train wreck. So. Don't do that, and maybe we'll find a way to get you to do one in pregame or something.
We'll do it.
Just so that I can say, I saw it.
Okay.
I saw it happen. Question number 2, which teammate would be the quickest to master the pogo stick?
Master is an interesting word just because I don't think any of us could master it.
Yeah.
But if I had to give it to someone, I would say Janae. Just because she's the silliest, and if there was a pogo stick lying in the middle of the gym, she would be the first one to grab it and start jumping on it immediately.
That means she'd also be the first one to fall off.
Probably,
yeah.
But the first one to master it.
True, if she decided to stay with it long enough.
Right.
I don't even remember the last time I saw a pogo stick.
I don't even think I've tried one.
Yeah, I can safely say that maybe like once when I was like
kindergarten,
8, maybe kindergarten. I don't know, but it's literally been that long, and I don't know anyone who's good at it, or even has one. That's the next part. And then question number 2: if one teammate had to build a campfire in order for you to survive, I don't know why that would ever happen, who would be the best able to do so?
I would say Kristen, because I know she likes camping.
Okay.
And I'm not really a camper. I don't think anybody else on the team is, so I'd go with her. But she's my best bet.
Well, if she's a regular camper, then maybe she knows how to create a fire with 2 sticks.
She saved my life.
That would be important, because obviously it's cheating if you just have like a lighter and you're just doing it that way. That's not what we're talking about here. I want to see her with 2 sticks just rubbing them together and somehow making magic happen and making a fire. And I guess that would save Moea. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know what scenario you would be put in.
I could do it myself.
Could you?
I don't know.
You seem to doubt yourself because you said you're not a camper.
Well, if you're talking about it like that way, I feel like I could do it.
I feel like there's still some magic that's involved with that, though. Like, not everyone can just rub 2 sticks together and boom, you're going to have a fire.
Mm-hmm.
A very awkward, random pause, the classic pregnant pause to end the show. Moea, thanks so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And you did great.
Thanks.
She was all worried beforehand that
These questions were kind of hard.
No, they weren't. They were not hard at all.
A little bit.
No, they weren't. And especially not for someone who's been on the show before like yourself.
True, but I had another person with me.
That's true. So that did kind of lighten the tension a little bit, especially because she was a freshman last year, was Janae.
She's still a freshman, technically.
She's still a freshman?
Well, not technically. We just call her a freshman because she's still the youngest on the team.
That's true, because you didn't bring in any freshmen.
Her on this one.
I'm so sorry, Janae. Like at first I wasn't sorry for you. The dead fish thing was great, but now I kind of feel slightly sorry for you.
Me too, I'm sorry.
Getting beat up on Unrooted, so maybe she'll have a chance to clap back at some point. Mo, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome, folks. The Oaks volleyball team, they're on the road this weekend for the first time in GSAC play as Menlo takes on San Diego Christian on Friday night down in Santee, and then they take on Vanguard, a ranked opponent, Saturday afternoon. You can find all the coverage on the Menlo Athletics website, menloathletics.com. We invite you to tune into the next episode of Unrooted Women's Volleyball Edition, when Moea Kekauoha will select the next interviewee to be roasted on this show by me, Brian Brownfield. Until then, we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.